What is up, YouTube? It's your boys, Tommy Zachary, Big Kriegs, Kings of the Clubhouse. Special episode. We got our MLB preview today. Games start tomorrow. Cubs and Dodgers kick off. Not kick off. First pitch, 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're playing the Japan series against the Dodgers
Tokyo.
in the Tokyo Dome. Looking forward to that. This episode, we're just going to preview the MLB season, give you our predictions for standings and awards. And with that, we'll just hop right into it. We'll start with the American League. We'll go East, Central, West. Start with the East. In fifth, I got the Rays finishing fifth. I think they've lost too much. I mean, they've had not good teams on paper that have made deep runs, but I think this is the year that it catches up to them, and they're not good. They're not actually good. They're not good on paper. They're not going to be good during the season. You got five.
I also have the Rays at 5. Like you said, just they lost too much. It would be interesting to see them pull off a run like they did on that World Series win. Like their payroll wasn't huge, but I just don't see it. They're rebuilding their stadium still from that hurricane that happened and stuff. So it's I don't think it's going to be a good year to be a Tampa Bay Rays fan.
I don't think so either.
You just want to alternate them?
Yeah, we'll alternate.
All right. Number 4, I as well have the Blue Jays. Sorry, didn't mean as well. I have the Blue Jays. So I think they were aggressive in trying to get people this offseason. It didn't pan out for them. I don't think the way that they wanted it to. They were kind of in the neighborhood for all of the big contract guys, but they just weren't the number one choice for all of them. I think they're going to end up keep figuring out something to do with Vladdy and giving him a big extension, and they're going to make it work somehow. But I just don't see it with how good the rest of the division is, and how young the rest of the division is in some areas. I just don't see them being above the 4th place team.
I think they finish fourth, and I think they sell at the deadline. I think they get what they can for Vlad, Bo Bichette, and I think they go into a complete rebuild. I know they got Anthony Santander, who signed a decent contract with them, but I don't think there's a chance Vlad stays now. And if they're not competing at the deadline, I think they ship house.
Yeah, I could absolutely see it. It's definitely something that they could do. I mean, there were talks about it last year about them selling. So if they come out to
they did have a lot of injuries, so
and that's another thing.
Yeah,
that's another thing. You gotta see how it goes. Like, was it just, hey, you guys were injured last year, or is it, hey, this team's not as good as we think it is?
Right. It's time will tell with that. 3 spot, I got the Red Sox. If there's a way to do it, I'd have 2A and 2B with the Yankees and Red Sox. I think injuries is going to be the deciding factor for both these teams. Yeah, as of now, I got the Red Sox at 3. I think they're going to be better than last year, but I don't think they're going to be better than the Yankees.
Okay. I have the Yankees here. So I think Garrett Cole, that him being out for the whole year is going to affect them a lot. Their pitching is not comparable to what they were last year. It's not going to be as good. They lost a lot. They have a lot to make up from what they were last year. They're not. I don't think they're going to be the Yankees as we've seen the last couple of years. I think Aaron Judge is going to have a good year as he always does. He's going to hit 40+ home runs, and I think he's going to be the talk of the town in New York. But I think the team across the borough is going to be the team in New York this year.
Yeah. So you got who do you got at the 2 spot?
I do have the Red Sox here. I think they made some good moves this offseason. I think signing Bregman is going to help them. If they can figure out what to do with Devers and figure out how to make everybody happy.
He said today that he's fine with being DH.
Okay, well, I
don't know if he saw that.
I did not. That's a step in the right direction. So if they can figure it all out, I think they got some good young guys. Their pitching is better than people I think it is. And I think they could be a pretty good candidate for that 2 spot. I don't think that they're going to be able to take the division. I think, like you said, it could be a 2A, 2B situation with them and the Yankees. Injuries are going to play a factor, but I think the Red Sox are going to end up finishing second.
I got the Yankees too. I think obviously losing Juan Soto is a huge loss, but they got Bellinger to play center. Judge can go back to right. Dominguez is going to play left. They've been talking about him being great and a possible generational talent for a couple years now. I'll talk about him a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
But Goldschmidt had a good second half last year. I think he's gonna do well in New York. Obviously, the left side of their infield is gonna have to produce if they want to be good offensively. Um, I just Max Fried's a good addition. I think
He's going to be their
their
ace now.
offense, him and Rodon, yeah. I think they'll be good enough until they get guys like Lucas Hill back. Um, time will tell. I think they're better than the Red Sox as of today. But the one spot we both agree on this, we got the Orioles.
Yep.
I think even like people were shitting on their offseason because of not getting that big name. They didn't let Burns walk. Burns didn't resign. Um, but they realized that depth is important and spent money spread out instead of giving it all to one guy. So I think their pitching will have to be adjusted at the deadline, but I think their offense is just going to be stupid. I think they probably win 100 games. They'll probably be the 1 seed in the American League. But yeah, I think that they're the team to beat.
I agree. They're young. They're going to be good. Gunnar Henderson is. I mean,
Awesome.
he's got a real shot at being the MVP this year if he plays as good as he can.
How we did last year.
He slumped a little bit towards the end of the season. Their whole team kind of fell weird in
Off at the wrong
September,
time.
and it turned out just biting them in the ass and not being able to do well in October. But I do think they're going to make a big adjustment this year. I think, like you said, if they need to address the pitching at the deadline, I'm sure they'll go and get someone who's going to be up there. Um, I think depending upon how the Mariners do this year, I think Logan Gilbert's going to kind of be the guy to get at the deadline. Um,
One of the
yeah,
five.
yeah. So one of their
And I think even if the Mariners are good, they're gonna try to pawn one of those guys off for a bat, and Baltimore has bats to give
they
away.
do. They have a lot of depth too. I mean, they still have Jackson Holiday, who's he who knows what
Their
he's
minor league
yeah
system is still really
yeah
good. They got a bunch of guys.
who knows what
Yeah.
who's gonna get called up, who's gonna get make impact and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. Uh,
Hop into
yeah,
the Central.
yeah. Pivot to the AL Central.
I'm sure we can both agree with this. We got the White Sox finishing last.
Yeah, they
I think they have a chance to be as bad. If I don't think they'll be worse than last year, but I think they have a chance to be just as bad.
yeah. I think they're probably gonna win 100 or win. I think they're probably gonna lose 110 games again this year, if not more. They're just they're not good. They'll have some of their prospects, some of their young guys.
It will. I was just gonna say that it will be cool to see a lot of these guys get their shots.
Right.
Like Colson Montgomery will be up. Noah Schultz will probably get called up at some time. Hagen Smith might get called up.
Yeah.
It's if you're a White Sox fan, yeah, it's gonna suck to watch your team lose 100 games again. But you're gonna get a really good look at your young guys.
And I also think they're gonna end up shipping Robert at the deadline or another one of these
Oh, I do
big.
too. I think he's
I
gone.
mean, it just I think they're gonna ship house and try this again. I mean, from the last 2 years, I know they've been god awful, but their farm system has turned and done a complete 180. Their farm
They
system is
have.
looking very, very good. To about I mean, depending upon what happens with the CBA and stuff, but they could come back from that CBA and be in a really good spot going forward.
Yeah, they are. I think if they do it right, continue to do it right, that they might have a shot the next, like, could be up and coming team the next 2 3 years. Obviously, gonna have to see how these guys pan out. Who you got in the 4 spot?
4 spot, I have the Twins. I just think honestly this is gonna be the most competitive division between the teams in the league. I think four of these teams, aside from the White Sox, all these
Have a chance to
teams
win the
have
division.
have a chance to win the division realistically. I think those 4 spots are probably going to be decided within 10 games of each other, if I had to guess. They always play each other hard, even when they're not good. Their interdivisional play is always, something to watch. And I know that just us being from Michigan, we see a lot of Tigers content and a lot of Tigers stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how this division pans out. But yeah, I have the Twins finishing in the 4 spot here.
I got the Twins there as well. They their flaws showed at the end of the year. They were bad and ended up blowing that playoff spot. And they didn't get better. They made no moves.
No, they did
They're
not.
counting on guys to be healthy and produce, which that team has shown that they cannot stay healthy.
Yeah, I mean
So
that
that
team has the same kind of script each year. They start off really well. They have a major injury around like the middle of May, early June, and they just can't bounce back in the
they
later
get
half of the
someone
year.
back, someone else goes out,
Yeah,
that guy comes back. They can't stay up to
it's
it.
just a revolving
Uh,
door.
3 hole, I got the Guardians. I think they are taking a step back this year. I could very well be wrong, but this is another team like the Rays. Like they overperform their expectations and the team that they have on paper. They traded away Josh Naylor. They traded away Jimenez, and I don't think they got better. Jose Ramirez is still great. That pitching staff is above average. Their bullpen's good, but I don't. I think the Royals and Tigers are better.
I agree. I got the Guardians finishing in the 3 spot here. Like you said, it's not that they are a bad team. This division is going to be really competitive. They didn't do very much to get better in the offseason. If anything, their team got worse with the moves that they've made. And I think that's kind of because they're prepping that they think the Tigers and the Royals are going to be really good this year, and I think so too.
The other teams got better, and they did
Yeah.
not.
So a little bit of a shakeup here. I do not have the Tigers coming back and winning the division. I know a lot of people do. But I have the Tigers finishing in the 2 hole here. I know there's going to be a bunch of momentum around them from how they finished last year and the moves they made in the
It got better.
offseason. They did get better. I do just think the Royals are going to be really good this year.
Yeah. Yeah, this one was tough. Um, I got them flip flopped. I got Tigers 1, Royals 2. Obviously, Krieger's got opposites. I think this is going to come down to 162. It's going to come down to the last week of the season. I think it's going to solely depend on whose pitching staff is healthy
Yeah,
and clicking at the end of the year. But like I said, I think both these teams make the playoffs.
I agree.
One as the division winner, one as the wild card slot. That division should be good after being very mediocre the last 6, 7 years.
Yeah, that like I said, that Royals team is going to be good. Cole Reagans is a boss, dude. I mean,
Legit. Seth
he's
Lugo pitched phenomenal last year.
yeah, the Royals could really have a problem if Bobby Witt Jr. plays his has another
As
year
well
under
as
his
they did last
belt.
year.
Like he could have real MVP conversations.
They
It's
got Jonathan India.
yeah. I mean the Royals have a really good chance of winning that division this year, and that is something from if you look at the Royals where they were at 2 years ago. That's not something that you would be saying.
They had the biggest turnaround last year.
Yeah, by far.
It was nice to see though. Hopping to the West, 5 spot. I got the Angels. They made some moves. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to be a good team. I I've got nothing more to say to that. But I hope Trout stays healthy, even if he plays 110 games, 105 games. I'll be happy with that. Hit 30 home runs. Give us a Trout year to remind people who the hell he is, because he's the best player in baseball when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Who you got in the 5 spot?
So I actually have the Athletics finishing in the 5 spot of the West. I think
You're sleeping on him.
So they made some good moves. I think their young guys are good. They can pan out to be good. I think they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder because they're playing in a minor league stadium. I just
Ball's gonna fly.
Yeah, that ball is going to move out of there. I just think the Angels did make some moves to get better. I think they're a better team. I hope for God's sake that Trout stays healthy, and that we can actually see a full
With another
year of
good year of
Trout.
Trout.
Uh, but I think the Angels are gonna be better than the A's. So I got the Angels in the 4 spot, A's in the 5 spot.
I got the A's in the 4 spot. I think they're going to be better, but I don't think they're better than the other 3 teams above them. I think they probably win 5 to 10 more games this year, and I don't think they'll ship. There might be some older guys that they get rid of, but I think they're building a young core. They're going to stick with it. Um, 3 hole, I got the Astros. I think they lost way too much to be the team of the past. I think this is the year they don't make the playoffs. They finally get knocked off a peg and come back down to reality.
Yeah. Um, I also have the Astros finishing in the 3 spot here. I like you said, they gave up a lot. Yes, they got some stuff back in return to where they didn't, lose as much as what it was. But they lost Kyle Tucker, they lost Bregman. They're not the same Astros as they have been, as the dominant Astros that we've been seeing. I think they're going to finish in the 3 spot in the West. Like you said, they're better than the other 2 teams behind them, but I don't think they're going to be that much better.
Yeah,
Um,
like I said, I think they lost too much to compete. I think they'll be above 500. I don't think they're going to be bad by any means. I don't think they have the team to do it this year.
okay.
Um,
In the 2 spot,
I,
I got the Mariners here. I think they're going to be good. Like you said, I think they're going to end up shipping one of their guys, or like one of their pitchers,
because
to get
they
another
added
bat.
no
Yeah,
bats this offseason. They
they
let Turner walk.
they need a new bat. Um, I think they'll probably figure it out. I think they're gonna do well. Julio Rodriguez could have a really good year. He's shown he has the potential to be a superstar in the league. Their pitching staff is gonna be a dominant
Carry
pitching
him.
staff. It's dependent upon how that offense performs. And there were times last year where that offense didn't perform at all. Uh,
Yeah, they had spurts where they did not hit the ball, and they play in a very pitcher friendly park too, so that doesn't help playing half your games there. I got them 2 spot. I think their pitching's going to carry them. Basically, what Krieger said. And then I got the Rangers at 1. This team had the World Series hangover last year, had a bunch of injuries. I don't see a world in which they don't win the division. They got good young guys, good veterans. If their pitching staff stays healthy, it should be really good. I think they probably win above 90 games. I think, I think they're the team to beat in the West. I think they'll get the 2 seed, get that first round bye.
yeah, I agree. I think the Rangers are going to be good. Corey Seager obviously he's probably the premier bat there, if not. Um,
Him and Simeon.
yeah,
And Langford's
yeah,
he had
Langford.
a really good second half.
Yeah, Langford. It's going to be cool to see him getting some at bats. I think he's going to open up as the starting left fielder, is what they're going to have him, right?
Yeah, he started all last year in left.
So, yeah, it'll be cool to see him. It'll be cool to see how the Rangers do. But yeah, I do think that they're going to end up getting. I think they end up getting the 3 seed. I think the winner of the East. I'm sorry, the winner of the Central is going to get the 2 seed. And then I think the West is going to get the 3 seed. So
That wraps up the AL. We're going to do awards for this side. We're going to split this into 2 episodes. Um, so MVP, we're going to give 1 to 2 names each. Cy Young and then Rookie of the Year. we'll start with Rookie of the Year. I got Jason Dominguez from the Yankees. I think he's the favorite. I mean, he is the favorite in Vegas, but I think it's his to lose. And then I got Jackson Jobe in the 2-hole. If he breaks camp with the Tigers, which I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
So those are my two guys for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, for the AL for Rookie of the Year, I'm not as versed in the young guys, so I did just give one pick for the Rookie of the Years. I did do Jason Dominguez as well, just because they've been talking about him being a generational type player for the past couple of years. He's gonna get everyday starts. He's gonna get everyday at bats. He's gonna get everyday time. It's just gonna be a hey, if you can do it, you can do it, and you'll be a big name in New York. And I think he's gonna end up helping that Yankees team a lot, especially with as much as they lost. So in Soto. We will transition over to the Cy Young. I'll start it off. My two names that I got Cole Reagans from the Royals. I think, like I said, he's going to be the lefty this year that people are going to have a hard time finding out. He was up there last year. I mean, there were
He was
talks
great
about
last
him.
year.
If Skubal didn't have the year he had, it was going to be a closer race. I think Skubal is going to have a good year. He's going to be my number 2 option. But I do think he's going to get found out a little more. I think people are going to scout him a little more. People are going to do a little bit more of a job of trying to figure him out. And I think he's going to have a good year. I just think that Cole Reagans is going to end up taking the Cy Young.
I'm right there with you. I think Cole Reagans is the one to win it. I think Skubal probably close second. I think it's between those two guys. Skubal has gotten better every year. I think he's going to continue off of his success from last year. But that's like MVP. It's very hard to win 2 years in a row. He could pitch the same numbers, and because he won it last year, he's going to lose votes. So I
Right.
think it's those two guys.
He has to have a
Top
significant improvement from last
improvement,
year,
which is
and
tough.
that's tough to do after you just won a Cy Young.
And you won the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
So that's tough to duplicate. MVP, I've got Trout. I think Trout plays 120 games, 130 games, and hits 40 to 45 home runs, 100 RBIs. He has a Trout year like he used to. I love Trout though, so that's a little bias of me. I think it's between him and Bobby Witt. I think Judge has another good year, but I think it's going to be the voter fatigue of already having two and just won it last year. He's going to have a better year this year than he did last year for him to win it again. So I think it's between Trout and Witt.
So my two names, we do share one of them. I think Bobby Witt is the front runner this year, just going into the season. There's the most hype around him, I think, just as a young guy. I mean, with the season that he had last year, I think he's only going to get better.
He wins MVP if Judge doesn't have the year he does.
Yeah, I don't think there's a question about that. Number 2, I do think it's going to be Gunnar Henderson. I do think he's going to have a great year. I think the Orioles are going to get the number 1 seed in the American League. I do think they're going to make it all the way to the World Series, and I think it's going to end up being Gunnar Henderson or Bobby Witt. I think it's one of those two are going to those two teams are going to be the 2 top teams in the AL. I think.
Yep, we're pretty similar mindset for a lot of these. That's going to do it for today's episode. For this part of today's episode, the second part will be going up this evening for the NL. But if you guys like this kind of stuff, these previews, drop a like, comment, subscribe, let us know. Your feedback helps us. I got nothing left. What about you?
That is all. I think that'll do it. We'll see you guys in a little bit.
Catch you guys in a couple hours. Peace.